Okay, so let's change gears a bit here and ask. There's a question that I see up there that says that my partner and I are dating and preparing for engagement slash marriage. We disagree on the timeline for having children. How can we resolve that? He doesn't want to be an old father, and I don't want to be a young mom.
I'm laughing because, honestly, I'm laughing because I don't want to, belittle your question on how this, but I think that you're fighting about things that you may not even need to fight about. When we got married, interestingly, Pastor K said, "Oh, the first 1 year we're going to do family planning." 8 years, we never born. 8 years. So there are some things that if you don't want to be a young mom, you don't even know yet. So have conversations, right? But you guys both need to understand that you have to defer to the other person. We can meet in the middle now. We can meet in the middle. I don't know about old father and young mom. You can meet in the middle. What do you want really? It's not about just being a young mom. You probably want time to enjoy your marriage, get to know yourself, get to know your partner. You can do that in a year or so. You can do a year. And then maybe having those conversations and asking yourself real honest questions. Because this "I don't want to be a young mom" is not the real issue. There's something you're afraid of. And we need to know what those fears are. So if you can have that conversation with your partner, and he also has reasons why he doesn't want to be an old father. And trust me, having your children young is good though. They don't use pension to train children. I'm telling you. And as you get older, it's harder to keep up.
Yes.
I think the waiting 8 years was not by choice. But now I have friends who their children are going to university. And my oldest is just in middle school. I still have a 9-year-old in the house where most of my friends, their children are already in university. And keeping up, I'm still doing. So if my children were in university and Pascal and I were traveling like this, I wouldn't be worried. But now I have to constantly think about who's at home with them, who's at. So you guys have this conversation, and this is the least of your problem. Marriage comes with bigger challenges than when we want to have children. I'm telling you. So choose your battles wisely.
All right. Again, I would have loved to know what young, how old are we talking in the young, and and all that. Then why? The motive is important to me. Why do you don't want to be a young mom? Is it that you want to have fun? Is it that you want to go out there? Is it that you want to keep your shape? Sometimes the motive behind something is more instructive to us than just the issue. And then, if you are also going to have a good marriage, you need to understand how the marriage template works. I'm going to talk because we're talking about blueprints. I'm going to talk a bit about that tomorrow, how marriage works. There's a structure in marriage. It's just that in the Western world, they run away from it. Let me talk a bit about it. Let me touch a bit about it. There are three kinds of marriages. There's the cultural marriage, there's the contemporary marriage, and then there's the kingdom marriage. All right? The cultural marriage is not the best. The contemporary marriage is not the best. The ultimate one for a believer is the kingdom marriage. In a cultural marriage, men oppress women. In a contemporary marriage, women oppress men. Yeah. In a kingdom marriage, nobody is oppressed. It's for the benefit of both parties. All right? Very important. Very, very important. In a cultural marriage, women kneel at the point of the wedding and the marriage. In a contemporary marriage, men kneel to propose. In a kingdom marriage, both kneel before the Lord.
Repeat that again. Right? Repeat that
again. in a cultural marriage, it's about superiority. Men want to say they are superior to women. In a contemporary marriage, it's about equality. But in a kingdom marriage, it's about unity. All right? It's a long message. I'm just summarizing. I might still talk about it. Not that I've shared it. I might not talk about it again tomorrow. But the point is that you must understand that in a union, there's a structure. And that structure is not because there is superiority, and it's not about equality. It's about unity. Structure is for unity. When God says the man should be the head, it's not because he's necessarily the better person. But God gives a structure. It's like all of us entering a plane and saying, oh, the pilot cannot be the one that flies the plane. We will not take off. The structure allows unity, and that allows us to make progress. With all the technological advancements I've seen all over the world, I've not seen a car with 2 steering wheels. Always one. Any other person that enters that car needs to trust the person driving. So in the structure of a family, the man is the head. And if a woman, you want to marry a man, you must marry a man you can trust his decisions, whether it makes sense or not. So if your husband is saying, let's have the kids, you have shared your opinion, you would like it to be later, but if at the end of the day, he says, let's just do this, that's what you've signed in. When you say, I do, many people don't know what they are coming to do. What did you think you said you were coming to do? You were coming to line up with this man. That's what submission means. Submission doesn't mean you're subservient or not. It means you're aligning. When I enter a plane, I submit. When they say, put on your seatbelt, I put it on. If I start walking around when they say put on your seatbelt, then I'm not submitting to the leadership of the plane. There will not be a smooth flight. So if you are going to come to this marriage, it's not about equality, it's about unity. If the man is saying, the leader of this home, structurally saying, we're going to have these kids now, as a wife, I know it's strange for women in contemporary systems. They don't believe in submission, don't know it exists. But you will never have the best marriages if everything is about the debate. Just like what Dr. Anna said, women think faster, talk faster. So what they described is the typical thing that happens to them. And because he's a good man, what most men will do after a while is stop talking. Because they know you're going to beat them. Women have at least 20,000 words per day. Men have like 8,000 per day. Then women's mouth is like machine gun, just like she said. The man's own is pistol, pistol. And it's not even just normal, it's not automatic pistol, it's a cock. You know what the cock can shoot? That means you put on bullet, put another bullet. So she's going to win all the time if he's talking. But you see, men think deeply. And if you always rush to make decisions, you put the family. Sarah tried it. She brought a quick decision that today, there's bombing in Gaza today. It's born out of that decision that Sarah made. Quick, let's just do something. We're still reaping the issues. So how many women in scripture like that did those kind of things? Let's just do this, and they put the family in trouble. Follow the structure. You can have, of course, you have opinion, you have ideas, everything, but present it to the leader or the leadership and allow God also reign. So if your husband wants you to have kids and you've shared your opinion and he doesn't see the reason, he still feels you should have kids. As a wife, as a Christian wife, not a contemporary wife. Yeah. You see, that's why men around here are running out of marriages or they don't want to get married. Because contemporary system favors the women. Cultural system favors the men. In fact, that's why marriages that come from diaspora doesn't work when it gets here. Because those guys are running, even Christians, they are running cultural marriage at home. They come here, they say this app is not applicable in this region. Have you seen that on your phone? This app is not going to work in this region because this region is contemporary marriage. And you see, every human being without the structure of Christ is evil. When men are given undue power in cultural marriage, they use it negatively. When the women come here and find out we have the power, the divorce favors us, the everything favors us, they also take advantage of men. The real thing is that we're not taking advantage of each other. We're serving and helping each other. All right? So the only way unity can happen is when there's one leader. And the wife, the way scripture structures it, is, and you see, don't marry an evil man. Submission, women don't hate submission. They're only doubting the person they are following. Have you seen women in the salon? They're very submissive. Sit down there. Bend your head. The women sit down for 4 or 5 hours. So they have no issue with submission. What they have issue with is that they don't respect this man and they don't respect the structure of God. And just like Pastor M said, the Bible is not written for general people, it's written for Christians. It's written for a woman that already submits to the Lord. Then she knows that submitting to a man is not just even to the man, you're submitting to the Lord in the man. And the man also that they told to love his wife, he knows he's not just loving the wife, he's also honoring God in that situation. So if your husband wants you guys to have your kids now, you've shared your opinion, he has heard, but he still feels this is the right thing to do, I think you should follow if you're a good wife.
Yeah, that's good.
I think this one is enough even for today's session. But we'll keep continuing with this one.